No! Why are you talking about pie?
You join us today as our normals are midway through cooking 30 portions of a team lunch. It's for a volume badge, and all we need them to do is agree, work together, and scale up a recipe from 4 to 30.
Chicken, leek and mushroom pie, classic.
Simple, right?
Boys, you've got 4 whole chickens.
That's a lot of chicken. It's a lot of everything.
It's the most mushrooms I've ever seen.
It's a lot of work. It's like, there's a lot of process here to get done.
But you're most scared about doing the work. That's what I'm hearing.
No, no.
For context, boys, I've sent the menu down to the team. Specifically, it is pot pie, parsley mash, and roast broccoli.
Right, so we are prepping whilst working out how on earth we're going to do this. Boys, thoughts?
What would Kush do?
Kush wouldn't make a normal pie. If we cook all the ingredients to make them as delicious as possible, smother that in a sauce, and then a topping, that's a pie.
Yes.
We haven't got the space to put the massive pots in and cook 5 pies. So why not get baking trays out, put them on baking trays and just cook the tops?
Bearing in mind, this is something that Kush does pretty much silently in that kitchen whilst
Silently. He doesn't do anything silently.
whilst we're trying to film most weeks for between 20 and 30 people. Interested to see if you've picked up on any of the tips of all the delicious meals he's fed us in the last couple of years.
That was already split when I unrolled it.
Jay,
Yeah.
how big have you cut the pie tops to?
I haven't cut anything because of food waste. Serving in those tins would be great. Are they the same size as these tins?
Have a look.
Do you know what? Perfect.
It'll do.
It'll do.
By hook or by crook.
Fantastic work!
Well done, everyone.
Do I need to do all these chickens?
1 chicken would serve how many people?
2.
As a half roast chicken, correct, maybe, if you're being particularly hungry.
In a pie and then chopping it small so everyone gets a bit of a mouthful.
Yeah.
You probably do want to use all of them, right? Yeah. You're so lazy.
I don't know. I'll do them all.
As we know with Chef Skills Challenge, it's always a cross between creativity, technique and organisation. I feel like all 3 are at play here with the badge they're competing for, and that is the volume badge. But you're also all competing for a second badge, and that varies. Baz, which badge are you going for?
So I'm going for the seasoning badge, so I'm seasoning everything. Chucking these in whole, cooking them for half an hour, and I think it'd be easier to pull them and pull all the meat off once they're cooked. I'm now free to do the next thing. Part of me goes, what's I have to do?
We've got to get the base going.
But again, I can make a white sauce.
I'm going for a sauce badge. So if you could leave the white sauce to me, that would be lovely. If you want to take over mashed potato. So what I'm thinking, I'm just heating the water up because it's going to take forever. I'm thinking of like dice, small dice, so it cooks really, really quickly.
Okay, quickly.
And then it's easier to mash and it's less mashing, so it's not mushy.
Okay, cool.
What do we know about mashed potato?
You don't want it to absorb too much water. You want it to be nice and dry.
Don't forget to season your water.
So do you want to cut up really small?
No. If you cut them up really small, they take on more water.
So many distractions, but there is a logical order to it all. Have you sussed it? Jay did 1 leek, then stopped. Mike peeled some potatoes, then handed the gauntlet over. Baz prepped 3 of the 4 chickens, and then stopped and left the raw chicken on the side. It's an interesting process to watch. Will any of them, or all of them, get the volume badge?
I'm happy that's enough leeks. So I'm going to put this leek in the fridge. As a pie, do we think that 2, 3, 4, 5 is 10 portions? We need 3 of these trays.
No, that's ridiculous.
No.
It's 30 people.
At the moment, they're having an argument, not an argument, a discussion, but one of them is talking pie and one of them is talking mash.
Are you talking mash or pie?
I'm talking, there's potato in that tray. Of course I'm talking about mashed potatoes.
We're talking about pie.
I've already agreed.
It's Jamie, he's always talking about pie.
Okay, you've got 90 minutes left. How does that make you feel?
Slightly concerned, but I think we've got the time-consuming stuff out of the way. The potatoes are prepped and cooked. Everything's pretty much prepped. It just needs individually cooking in the right way and then brought together at the end.
How much and which sauce are you putting into your chicken, mushroom and leek pot pie?
It's going to need to be a white sauce. And I think if I'm going to win the badge, it's got to be a roux. So I think working off of 50 gram butter, 50 gram flour, and then 450 milk, I think that probably serves between 4 and 6. So I'm gonna have to scale it up based on that.
Boys, I had a change of heart with the mushrooms, started to slice them up.
Taking too long, probably.
I got bored. So what I thought was, why don't we cook them whole and then we can add them in, roast them off and then get them into the sauce later.
Okay.
Okay boys, I'm just gonna do a little clear down now that we've got most of the prep out of the way.
That we like.
Right boys, part of working in a team is about motivating, so you're doing a great job. Keep it up.
Oh no.
You're doing a great job.
Thanks.
Keep it up.
Thanks, Bab.
Jay, what badge are you going for? The manhandling badge?
I'm going for the improvisation badge, and I think when you're cooking for 30 people, there has to be a fair amount of improvisation.
Why have I done it this way
that
round?
We would usually cook things, like the puff pastry lids, like the mushrooms, trying to do things in a slightly different way
This is a
to
nightmare.
accommodate the portion sizes.
I like that. So it's not improvisation or necessarily flavours, because we've asked you for a pretty classic pie, but in terms of thinking outside the box on how you get there. It's exactly what we want to see.
Right.
Hello, I've started those onions.
Lovely.
Would you mind
I'm
taking...
going to move them over here.
Okay,
So
that's
they're
even
out of the
better.
way. Yeah.
Monsieur Saucier,
Bonjour.
are you purely making a bechamel or are you making a velouté?
No, I think it's got to be a velouté, right?
You know when you make your sauce,
Yeah.
I know that we don't appreciate it, but the chefs will be able to tell if it's not there. Do you know? It just adds that little something.
Where are we putting it?
In the velouté.
Yeah! Sauce badge is within sight. If you missed the bay leaves, it would have been a no-go.
If you're enjoying this, there are some small things you can do that make a big difference to us. Like the video. Subscribe if you aren't. Click the notification bell and select all. Thanks.
Barry, chicken.
Yeah, it's done.
No, do you want to test that it's cooked? This
Right,
is
no,
if
no,
30
no,
people,
no.
30 people don't turn up for work tomorrow, we're screwed, and they'll be ill, which is my main concern.
Mike, if you're making a volume of sauce, a whisk might help. It depends on how smooth it is.
I did use a whisk and it's smoother now.
Looks great. Couple of questions, because I'm sure there's a logic. You've drained your potatoes. What are they waiting on?
I'm letting them dry out a little bit, and then I'll go in with a touch of butter, give it one mash, see how I get to it, and then stir in any milk or cream or any other or smash if it needs thickening or anything else.
It was a flavoured mashed potato, wasn't it?
Parsley mash.
Parsley mash.
Barry, what are you doing with the chicken?
I was going to pull it. I don't know how hard it's going to be, but it's be quite hot. I might give it some space to cool down a little bit more. I will take the skin off now and continue to cook that to go crispy so I can scatter that onto our pie top. Seasoning.
I'm sure the team will be very grateful for that.
So,
We're going to need to deglaze the hell out of that.
so what I'm thinking is that we switch the pans out now.
That would suggest that the pan wasn't entirely on the heat, and the bit of heat it was on was very hot, because this side of the pan's fine.
I need some herbs for my velouté, so I've got rosemary, thyme and tarragon. And I haven't got time to chop it up, so it's all going in a mini chopper. Could you please check this for seasoning? It hasn't had any seasoning yet, seeing as it's your badge.
Okay, that needs some flavour.
It needs some seasoning.
It does. It needs to be, I think it needs to be more acidic as well.
I think the tarragon comes through really nicely and brings that sort of profile, but could we add a little bit of
straight white wine into it, yeah.
white wine into it to give you that zing that you're looking for?
I think that would work.
What would you normally do with white wine? When would it normally go in the cooking process?
Cook it
Yeah,
off
like way earlier.
Into the chef.
Can we thicken it up?
Yeah.
Thicken it with Bisto.
Yeah.
What would you use for a family of 6? Maybe a tablespoon?
Yeah.
What are you using for a family of 30?
5 tablespoons. I'm gonna go 4 and see what happens and then save my 5th.
Great.
Time to mash some potatoes. We've got a butter parsley, which was butter and parsley mixed together. I'm going to put half of it in here, half of it in here. Mash, 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 and then add cream to create the right texture.
So far the potatoes have been boiled in unsalted water. The butter is unsalted, so it hasn't had any. A good shout to start seasoning now so you don't end up over mixing and making gloopy mashed potato later.
We are at the get everything in a massive bowl, stir it together and portioning it into trays stage. One effing job.
Good spot, Mike. Good teamwork.
Wow, okay, sorry, nearly killed someone.
What was the plan with the chicken skin?
Chicken skin's gonna go in with broccoli.
Oh, fine, lovely. Do we want to put something herby through the broccoli as well?
I was thinking nuts and sultanas.
Brilliant.
Does that feel like enough filling for 30?
It feels like enough to feed a sorted army.
Looks like a good consistency.
Lads, this is looking great.
Wow, whoa!
Okay, season boy. I'm not sure this is going to need a huge amount of work. If the chefs had made it, you'd expect another dimension, and I think you're right. I think it is a winey hit. But if you reduced the wine down and just chucked it, would that add that missing dimension? And is that risky? I say...
It won't make it worse. Like, it's delicious.
Let's
but
do
I don't
it.
Make it worse. Yeah, why not?
You're doing a great job.
Thanks, babe.
Do the lumps taste bad?
Yes, because they're just undercooked potato.
No, it's not undercooked at all.
What's happening? What is happening?
Flavour.
What's happening?
He's just put another block of butter into the mash.
How many blocks of butter did you put in the beginning?
1 block of butter.
I said 2.
And a butt ton of cream. Thing of
Cream is relatively low fat compared to butter. Get the butter in.
It's not going to help the potatoes cook.
It'll taste better.
Oh, we're not going to pass. I'm worried. So we've added some white wine. It's been reduced, but it's not reduced down to what we wanted because it got the tang.
It has a tang, but therefore I think it needs more salt now. So
Either way, you've got 3 minutes. The first hungry competitors are arriving.
you're early.
Yes, a little bit of carnage, but it also looks like we might have lunch ready.
You want to serve 2 of those per pie.
Yes.
I think you could trim it and then keep some back.
I'd say just put 1 on, and then we'll have spares for people
60
to rip off.
seconds.
Do it.
1 on.
1 on.
What are you talking about?
1 on,
Why?
and then
No,
you have
2.
spare pie lids.
What?
Nobody's going to say no to more pie
When has
lids.
more been less in your world?
More is more. That's better. But people can make their own minds up. That's what
That
I've
is
learned.
so much pastry.
What's that for?
Mash.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lunchtime.
Serve it with a smile, boys. Serve it with a smile.
Boys, we've had a quick clear down. The entire team has been well fed or fed well, I'm not sure. But the point is they came back for seconds of pie and we still have 5 portions left over, plus a fair bit of mash. Should we talk about the volume cooking badge? You were all 3 competing for that. Speaking to the team, we felt like although you got dinner served on time for the team, there weren't many of the actual chef's skills of volume cooking included. It's why you've still got about 5 kilos of mashed potato left. No maths was done.
That is my fault because I peeled all those potatoes.
I think by hook or by crook you got there, but we're not convinced there were enough of the thinking ahead, equipment, items, temperatures, scaling up, and kind of maths and portion control that was necessary for a volume badge. So none of you are going to take it today, but let's talk about your individual badges. These were very interesting.
Oh, it's so stressful being in this position.
I hate this.
Now, to be fair, this is a consideration taking on board what everybody in the team thought. Kush and I have had a little bit of a chit-chat. And on a sauce badge, Mike, whilst you didn't get your volume up badge, making the sauce you were very thoughtful and careful about, and you were testing as you went. You did your roux base, you added in your velouté, you didn't forget the bay leaves, and then you went in with all of your seasoning, your dairy at the end, a little bit at a time with the cream, and then you thickened it with the chicken gravy granules. Plus, after seasoning, you added the white wine back in, having reduced it. All very good steps. Everyone said the pie was delicious. That was thanks to the sauce. You take the badge.
Told you to add those bay leaves in.
Have to say thank you to you both who helped along the journey, to be fair.
Jamie, you were on the improvisation badge, and what we mean by that is thinking outside the box when you're having to scale up. There were several times, Jamie, where you were thinking outside the box to get the job done. You roasted off the mushrooms. You weren't bothered with the whole chopping all that parsley, so you blended into the butter. So in terms of thinking outside the box, you do take a badge.
Oh. Yes. Well done, but this is not helping me catch up.
Spin round.
I feel like he's put me last for a reason.
The pie, and thanks to Mike's sauce badge and sauce, was delicious. But you're after the seasoning badge. And I'm going to use one word
Yeah.
that a chef on our team used to describe your mash.
My mash? Our mash?
Horrid. The potatoes were cooked in unseasoned water. We added unseasoned butter. At the end, it was seasoned with a pinch of salt after some dairy fat, but there were several people at the table having a dip into the Malden sea salt pot to correct the seasoning of the mash.
Horrid. I saw mostly clean plates.
Look how much mash is left.
Yeah.
People came
They
back.
can come back for more later.
They didn't want to. They came back for more pie because the sauce was great. Unfortunately, general consensus is we cannot
I can't have this.
hand out a seasoning badge today.
Rubbish! No!
However, if we could rotate anti-clockwise once more.
What are you doing?
I don't want to be here.
Whilst not technically competing for any other badges, we thought that Jamie stepped above and beyond. Not only was he the only one communicating, keeping team morale up, the only one going around cleaning everybody else's benches, but also thinking ahead about problems, was Jamie. So we're also going to dish out a teamwork badge.
Oh,
2 badges for Jamie. Well done, guys. Comment down below. What do you think? Was that fair?
I'm taking this home. This is delicious.